Hey guys, it's time for Money Mondays brought to you in partnership with Proven Wealth. I'm Kalilah. Now we're doing things a little bit different this week. You may have heard about the upcoming IPO by the advertising and production company, The Lab. Well, I have an interview with their founder and CEO, Kimala Bennett, as well as their chief strategist, Randy. So they're going to be telling you all about what this cool company is and what their vision is for the future. Let's take a look. So Kimala, tell us all about this company, The Lab. You've been around for 11 years. What do you guys do here?
So we're essentially an integrated creative agency and production company. And as you mentioned, we started in 2007 as solely a production company. We have clients such as Digicel, NCB, Grace Kennedy, IGT, JPS, Hearts, to name a few.
What are some of the campaigns that people would remember you for?
Well, for Grace, we did the Christmas campaign. That was the one with all the brand ambassadors. We've done Capital Quest, NCB Capital Quest. We've done Digicel Set for the Summer.
I see you did that cool ad that I really liked with the guy who was pausing while the video was uploading.
Yeah, that was a Digicel, so that was a while back. We also did the Flare mackerel.
Flare,
yeah,
you guys did that too.
So
cool. So Randy, tell us about your role with the company.
Right, so strategy really is almost like a spice when you're cooking, you know? If you don't use it, you notice, but it doesn't seem big when you're looking at it. It helps really to align a lot of the creative skills that we have in-house here, but with the vision or sometimes the needs or sometimes the constraints of our clients.
You know, there are dozens of ad agencies in Jamaica, even in Kingston. How do you differentiate yourself and stand out in this crowded field?
We'll work on time. That's our mantra, essentially. And we're also a data-led organization. So everything starts with strategy and ends with strategy. You know, really truly understanding the business of our clients and ensuring that we're not just being creative for creative's sake, but we're actually providing solutions that will assist them, and they'll see it in the bottom line. But also because we're a production-driven company, we move quickly, and that is absolutely important in this day and age with digital 24/7 content. So it really is just the idea that we have an amazing team. We have a young team.
How many people you have on staff here?
24 full-time, but at any given time we could have up to 100 freelancers.
Depending on the level of the projects that we have, scaling is almost an innate part of the business. You move up or down depending on your customer demand.
You know, Kimala mentioned strategy being an important part of what differentiates you at the lab, and that's your job. Talk to me about the data-driven part of it. How do you use data to drive your strategy?
I mean, a simple example, if oftentimes, somebody will have a brand, they come with a problem, and you can sit down in the room as creative people do, and you come up with maybe 2 or 3 solutions, and sometimes they're really, really good, and that works some of the time, and it has worked a long time in the past. But now we're in an age where everybody's more connected. No longer do you have to let's throw 5 things at the wall and see which one sticks. Instead, start with the people. Everybody's on social media, everybody's telling what they like, so start with what they like, start with what people's realities are, and then structure your solution towards that.
How did you start?
Well, I really wanted to be a psychologist. Yeah, I know. I went to school for psychology, and I still use it every single day. I tell people all the time. And then I went to HSI Production, which was a production company in Los Angeles, and I worked there for 2 years. And I knew at that point that I was coming home to start my own HSI, my own production company. But having worked in an organization like that, we were doing music videos for Will Smith, Pharrell, Kanye West, and seeing these big budgets and recognizing how they, focused on the various areas but still remained profitable, I really kind of zoned in on that, and I knew I wanted to bring that business model back to Jamaica. It didn't work at first. There was a lot of pivoting to get to the point, and it was just out that day it hit me to say, even though initially my dream was to have a production company that had that model, it was the agency that brought that model. So last year in November, we had like 5 productions happening simultaneously. We had Storm Salter directing, we had our very own Jasine directing, we had Michael Kushner directing, and that's essentially what it was. It was about having multiple projects and putting the right teams together. And if I do say so myself, that's my gift, being able to assess a situation and put the right teams together, whether they're in-house, whether they're freelancers, whether they're overseas. I can see a project and say, no, this person needs to work with that person. And at the forefront is always the quality. So I never, compromise on quality.
People say Jamaica is small. We have a limited audience, limited number of clients, all fighting for the same clients. What's the potential that you see for growth in this industry?
It's huge. Because, if you think about it, we're only operating in Jamaica right now. And a lot of our clients are global clients, or they have global aspirations. So the goal is to grow with our clients. Exactly right. To grow with our clients, to be able to retain them, and that's a part of why we're doing this, and also to look outside of Jamaica. And when you think of even doing work even outside of the region, because we are exposed to the US way of doing things. So my creative team can produce for a US company because of social media, because of the internet.
So that's where you have your eye next?
Absolutely. The region, for sure.
On that international market?
But we're not letting go of the local market. The local market itself is still strong and getting stronger. It continues to grow. Even the same companies you mentioned, where they were 10 years ago compared to where they are now is hugely different, and the marketplace is different. Half of Jamaica is below the age of 30. That is a situation where we now have young people who have always had the internet expect to be able to have the same access that they've always seen since being.
Like my daughter's 16, and she's like,
"Your daughter's what?"
Yeah, she was like, "You didn't have YouTube growing up? Oh my God, you're ancient."
So digital is also a big part of where we're going.
Yeah.
To ensure we currently do a lot of digital strategy because everything has a digital component.
All right, if you're eyeing a global market, because we do live in a globalized world, you're competing against all the global firms as well. So it's tough.
Yeah, but we know what we're doing because we aren't, having been in the global space, I also know where we will lie. I'm not going to say it here, obviously, but I know exactly where we will.
What's your vision for the lab in 5 years?
Well, we're definitely number one in the region and recognized internationally.
And 10 years?
The same, just more of the same. I'm sure by that point it's going to be a lot more content, creating our own content, creating our own apps, because the model will change. And we've noticed just, where we are now, a lot of our brands are asking for content. And that's definitely something that I know we'll be able to be focusing on and, refining our business model to ensure that we're always profitable and that we're constantly innovating. So one of the things that we're currently working on is what we call Scope Caribbean, and that's an online platform to essentially allow persons from all over the Caribbean, where we're starting with, to upload their pictures to speed up the casting process and the location process. And that's going to also help us as we break into the various territories.
You're making this big move now, launching an IPO with the intention to list on the junior market of the stock exchange. Why that direction?
Well, I think at this, I really wanted to raise capital through equity. That was a big part for me because I want persons who have helped me or have worked with the company over a period of time to also have some skin in the game and to also benefit from what we've been doing. I think also the tax benefit is huge. That is going to allow us to put that money into the company to also help us grow. And it also does, build the profile of the company. When you think of just compliance, governance, it forces you to level up. So it really is, when we weighed the pros and cons, and Randy and I had a lot of conversations about this, it really felt like the right move.
I know there are several things that you can't tell me for legal reasons about the IPO, but what can you tell me?
Nothing. I can tell you that it is our intention to list by the end of July.
And I can tell you that the company is a strong company and potential investors should be very happy.
Well, we look out for the prospectus.
No, absolutely. So as I said, definitely by the end of July. So the prospectus will be up in short order.
All the best, Kimala, Randy.
Thank you.
Looking out for it.
Thank you.
The Lab, that's it for Money Mondays. See you next week.